everyone, and thank you for tuning in to this week's Adult Library program. My name is Laurie Osseck, and I will be presenting Oktoberfest. From barrels brimming with beer to Bavarian pretzels and pork knuckles, Oktoberfest really does have it all. That is why this centuries old celebration brings more than 6 million partiers to Munich, Germany for a couple of weeks every October. Except this year, of course. Besides Munich, there are many other cities that host their own festivals, most notably Cincinnati, Ohio, and San Francisco, California. Even more local towns, such as Hermann, Missouri, throw themed parties. So, what's the story behind this event? Well, today I'm going to share with you the history of Oktoberfest and some of the unusual facts and traditions associated with this annual celebration. Surely Oktoberfest is in October, right? Wrong. Despite a name that clearly evokes October, the original Oktoberfest actually began in September. Authorities opted to move the festival start date forward in order to benefit from the warmer early fall weather and the resulting increase in crowds. The event now begins the first Saturday after September 15th and usually lasts between 16 and 18 days. The name, however, remained the same, and the festival always ends in October. The very first Oktoberfest was held in 1810 as a wedding feast honoring the union of Bavarian King Ludwig I and Maria Theresia of Saxonia. The royal shindig took place at the Theresia Meadow, where it continues to be held today. By 1819, festive horse races were replaced by beer carts, with a new proclamation that the party returns each fall. Since then, the festivities have been canceled only 24 times, once in 1870 due to the Franco-Prussian War, twice due to cholera epidemics during the 1920s, and several times in the years during and after the two world wars. Of course, this year it was canceled due to coronavirus, bringing the total amount to 25. The traditional costume and hunters parade has taken place every year since 1950 on the first Sunday of Oktoberfest. Approximately 9,000 participants join in the parade as they march through the city of Munich. There are numerous floats, costume clubs, hunters, mountain troops, marching bands, and musicians from all around the world who sign up. It is always led by the city mascot on horseback, and then the mayor in a horse-drawn carriage, followed by flower-adorned carriages of all the landlords and their families, and of course the magnificent carts of the breweries, pulled by the beautiful draft horses. Since 1950, the party can only officially begin at noon when the mayor, who is Dieter Reiter, cracks open the first beer barrel in the largest beer tent and yells, "Oh, Zaffitz!" which means it's tapped. The mayor then hands the first beer to the Prime Minister of the state of Bavaria, Markus Sodor. Afterwards, everyone else raises a toast to kick off the biggest beer drinking event in history. And don't be surprised to share a toast with a few young kids. The legal drinking age for beer and wine in Germany is only 16, and just 14 if you're accompanied by an adult. Oktoberfest can be very, very expensive. For instance, one stein of beer will cost $14, and approximately 2 million gallons of beer are consumed every Oktoberfest. Do you know that that could fill 3 Olympic-sized swimming pools? And that's a 1,081% increase since 1950. And that doesn't even include the food. So be sure to stuff your pockets and purses with plenty of dough. And just in case you're interested, there are approximately 800 prostitutes working hard at the event. Oktoberfest is definitely good for business. And we're not just talking about the breweries or the food tents either, if you know what I mean. Well, there's lots and lots of food. Oktoberfest is definitely a time to pig out. Think of soft pretzels, dumplings, cheese noodles, sausages, roast chickens, and lots of them. Every year, people eat over 700,000 roast chickens and roughly 120,000 pairs of pork sausages. Last year, approximately 127 oxen and 60 calves were consumed. 60,000 pork knuckles were devoured, 81,000 bratwurst, 64,000 sauerkraut balls, and 1,900 pounds of German potato salad. There are about 150 restaurants and food stands every year serving everything from authentic fish sticks to schnitzel sandwiches to candy apples. Let's just say that there's definitely plenty of food to absorb all that beer. Well, with so many people drinking so much beer, it would seem probable that folks might lose things here and there. Well, it just so happens that Munich proudly holds the record for items in the lost and found during Oktoberfest. Every year they get about 4,000 to 5,000 things brought to their tent. Listen carefully to this list: coats, cell phones, glasses, keys, purses, backpacks, cameras, umbrellas, canes, false teeth, a fishing rod, dogs, a court order, ID cards, watches, hearing aids, a wheelchair, wedding rings, and other jewelry, a Playboy magazine, a drum, a guitar, two French horns, leg warmers, computers, a ping pong racket, a car seat, canoe paddles, a monk dress, a Viking helmet, a megaphone, pocket knives, bras, a lucky gnome, a blood pressure monitor, bed sheets, a pet carrier, and believe it or not, an artificial leg. And people, lots and lots of people get lost every year at Oktoberfest. Apart from Bavaria in Germany, Canada has the largest Oktoberfest in the world. It's called the Kitchener-Waterloo Oktoberfest. It is a 10-day festival that is held in Ontario. It's billed as Canada's biggest event. It attracts more than 800,000 people from all over the world. Now, besides the typical beer and food attractions, they also offer a variety of family and cultural events, and they kick it off with their annual Thanksgiving Day parade, which is always held on the second Monday in October. The very first one was held in 1969, and because it was such a huge moneymaker and good for the economy, it has been an annual celebration ever since. Wow, 19 steins? Is it even possible to carry 19 steins? Yes, it is. In 2008, a Bavarian waitress named Anita Schwartz broke the record for the most beer steins carried at once. Somehow she balanced 19 full beer steins, 5 in each hand, and 9 positioned on top of these. And then she walked 40 meters without spilling a drop. She even set them on the table without losing any beer. Now, if you think this is easy, I want you to consider this. Each full stein of beer weighs approximately 5 pounds. So to set this Guinness World Record, Anita carried a total of 90 pounds in her arms alone. Of course, there are some things which will not get you into Oktoberfest. Over the years, security has definitely tightened at the event. Certain things on your possession will keep you from getting in, and certain things you do once you're in the gates will certainly get you kicked out. For instance, if you have any weapons or sharp objects or glass bottles on your possession, you cannot get past the entrance gates. There are also no bicycles, skateboards, or scooters allowed. Once you're inside, you absolutely must not dance on the tables. Dancing on the benches is perfectly fine, but do not place one single foot on a table, or that is the end of your party. And if you get caught urinating or defecating in public, you're out of there. Let's hope so. But vomiting, go right ahead. Vomiting is okay. Yes, you heard me right. It is okay. If you're Paris Hilton, you are not allowed ever in again. In 2007, she showed up in a tacky Bavarian dress and braids to advertise a brand of wine, and apparently it cheapened the event, and it created such a paparazzi frenzy that the locals decided Paris Hilton would never be allowed back. Is there an app available for that? Yes, indeed, there is. Although the event is over 200 years old, this Bavarian party keeps up with the times. It's considered very new millennium, of course. Within 2 days of the festival's start, the official Oktoberfest app has more than 75,000 downloads. Users can input their height, their weight, and the amount of beers they can drink to receive an estimate of their blood alcohol content and how long it will take for them to sober up so that they can start drinking again. For those looking to meet someone special, the singles can actually use the Oktoberfest dating app. They can wow their love interest with maybe some German beer songs. And then if that fails, there's always the simulation game that allows you to actually run a beer fest tent all on your own and see how successful you would be as a business owner during the event. Beware of counterfeiters during Oktoberfest. For several years in a row now, the police have uncovered a fake ticket crime ring. The con men had intended to profit from nearly 30,000 fake tickets, selling them to middlemen at €3 each, who would then resell them to festival goers at an increased price of €6. Waiters in two of the beer tents eventually alerted authorities, and the police went on to trace the tickets back to Bosnia, where they had been printed. They also discovered that they were printing fake euro banknotes, all to be used at Oktoberfest. If you like Bud Light, Miller Lite, Coors Light, sorry, you won't find that beer at Oktoberfest. The only beer you'll find during the festival is brewed within the city limits of Munich. Beers that fit this criteria are called Oktoberfest beer. There are only three ingredients used in the brewing process: water, barley, and hops. Because it is brewed specially for Oktoberfest, it is extremely strong. One mug of beer is equivalent to 8 shots of whiskey and has an alcohol content of 8%. That's 2 to 3% stronger than your average draft beer, so it can be very dangerous for some. Approximately 800 people suffer from alcohol poisoning each year. It must taste good, though. Over 2 million gallons are consumed each year, if you remember. Once again, that's enough to fill 3 Olympic-sized swimming pools. What does Albert Einstein have to do with Oktoberfest? Well, back in 1908, at the age of 17, the brilliant Nobel physicist Albert Einstein worked as a steward in the organization of the festival. He was employed as a trainee for his uncle's electric company. The owners of one of the large beer tents decided they wanted to be the first to take advantage of electrical lighting. So Einstein was employed to screw in all the light bulbs. He also helped set up some of the tents. Other celebrities have been seen over the years besides Albert Einstein, such as Samuel L. Jackson, Katy Perry, Kim Kardashian, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Siegfried and Roy, Bruno Mars, Robert Downey Jr., and even several presidents. And of course, we can't forget the Oompa bands. These bands are special 4 to 6 piece bands. They usually play a large selection of foot stomping, high thigh slapping German tunes, although recently they have added some classics that we know, such as Sweet Caroline and YMCA. They are most famous for their unusual regional brass instruments, including the Alpine horn, which was traditionally used as a way to calm down anxious cows during milking season in the Swiss Alps. The lower pitched tuba makes the sound, and the higher pitched instruments, such as the trumpet or trombone or clarinet, make the pa sound. For a more authentic look, members of the band usually wear the traditional German clothing. There are approximately 60 different Oompa bands that perform during the festival each year. Special shoes. You must have special shoes for Oktoberfest. Now, I can understand wearing special shoes that are comfortable because of all the walking that you would do during the event, but that's not what makes these shoes special. These shoes are special because they are beer proof and vomit proof. Yes, you heard me correctly. These are vomit proof shoes. Designed by Adidas in 2017, these shoes are made of durable leather and covered in a liquid repellent chemical that allows you to walk through water, beer, vomit, etc. without getting the shoe wet. They have several shades of brown and gold to match the Bavarian clothing, and the lining is red and white checked to represent the tablecloths used at the festival. On the outside, you'll find a secret message: Prost! Prost means cheers in German. Unfortunately, these shoes will set you back a pretty penny. The cost is $250. Then again, they just might be worth the investment. The Tiroler, this is a traditional alpine hat. It's a type of headwear that originally came from the Tyrol in the Alps, which is now part of Austria, Italy, Germany, and Switzerland. This hat is made of green felt. It's highly decorated with a variety of flowers and feathers and brush, which is from the beard of the chamois goat. Now, supposedly, the more tufts of goat hair on your hat, the wealthier you are considered to be. In the late 19th century, it became firmly associated with Robin Hood, and today it is still worn by the hunters from all over Europe in the Alps. And of course, it is commonly seen at Oktoberfest since it does remain part of the national costume. Well, we all know that not everyone likes beer, so to accommodate those folks, they do have a wine tent. It was established when the festival first began, back in 1885. They offer a large selection of wines, sparkling wines, and champagne. Because of the rustic wood paneling, visitors feel like they are in a vineyard. It even offers comfortable corner benches in cozy wooden boxes. You can celebrate into the night with live bands, even after most of the other tents have closed. This is where you typically would find the celebrities hanging out, and that's simply because the atmosphere is a little more dignified and the tent is much smaller. The German Red Cross assists as many as 10,000 people suffering from a number of common medical situations, from dehydration to alcohol poisoning. The assistant tents also keep extra clothing on hand in various sizes for those who may have overindulged to the point of vomiting all over themselves. While the recovery tents are often inhabited by the walking drunk, anyone who is in need of medical assistance is welcome. Other injuries that have been treated in the past include cuts, broken bones, head injuries, heart attacks, strokes, several assaults, and sadly enough, even 2 rapes. The workers at the tent are all volunteers, and they can speak a variety of languages. And the great news, the service is absolutely free. Should you bring your kids to Oktoberfest? Well, the idea of bringing children to a massive beer festival might seem pretty far out, but the truth is, there are actually hundreds of children that attend the festival every year. There's actually a fairground that surrounds the beer tents with a variety of carnival games, different rides, roller coasters, Ferris wheels, farm animals, food, music, and parades. The carnival was introduced in 1908 to make the event more appealing to families. They added a roller coaster that very same year, which was actually the first ever roller coaster in the country of Germany. The celebration of Mass during Oktoberfest dates back to 1956. This was introduced by the Catholic Circus and Exhibitors Union and was originally intended for only the carnies and the merchants who worked at the festival. The director of the union was Father Heinz Peter Schoenig, and he conducted the very first Mass. Well, today, the tradition is open to the fairgoers as well as the workers. Mass is always held on the first Thursday of Oktoberfest in the Hippodrome tent, and even the sacraments of baptism and confirmation are performed. Many people say they like to go to Mass to affirm their affinity to God before indulging in very sinful behavior. At the end of the festival, around 60 male and female shooters in traditional dress gather on the steps below the Bavaria statue at 12 noon on the last Sunday of the event. Every shot not only makes a loud bang, but also emits white smoke. That's because instead of bullets, black powder is fired. The spectacle is musically accompanied by an oompa band. The tradition dates back to the late 15th century. The custom was used to honor high-status individuals and to celebrate birthdays and christenings. It was also used to scare away evil spirits, and in several regions, the gun salute was used to warn against impending danger. Before the guns are fired, the master of ceremonies, along with the mayor of Munich, will introduce the newly crowned king and queen of Oktoberfest. They'll make several speeches, and then they will order the shooters to fire, officially ending the celebration. Although we can't attend the festival in Germany this year, we still have a few more days left in the month to attend some of the local festivals celebrating Oktoberfest. So be smart, stay safe, and enjoy some of the traditions of our German heritage. Auf Wiedersehen!